Bonnie and I have been exposed to the world of kayaking for a relatively short time now. Up to this past June, we would on occasion rent a couple of boats for a little lake time, but only recently did we decide to take the plunge and buy our own boats. Our knowledge of the sport was very limited, and as with most people, there was a trial and error period. The serenity of a slow paddle across flat water, enjoying the scenery and each other's company, while getting a bit of exercise is where all this started. Where it was headed was the part we didn't see nor expect. With a few trips under our belts, we began to seek out the like-minded. Today's social media, made this very easy. And before you know it, we were welcomed into circles with an interest in paddling. Interestingly enough, our first paddle with others not in or close to our circle was a night paddle on Jordan Lake with Chris and crossed paddles. We went out there to view shooting stars left behind from the Perseid meteor. From there, the snowball rolled. Fast forward a few weeks, and we get invited to paddle down the Hall River. This was our first experience with moving water, and the hook was set. What followed was the start of many friendships. Several kayaks, and months later, we find ourselves knee-deep into this sport. I want to call out one influencer, Pete with River Kings. Anyone that knows him also knows his passion and respect for nature. Among the groups we frequent, he's well known. A multitude of videos exist on YouTube that chronicles his adventures as he captures a unique perspective that accompanies an equally impressive storybook narration. A couple of weeks ago, during a trip down the Uwharrie River, Pete mentioned he would be sponsoring a table at the Feed the Hunger Packathon. Like throwing gas on a fire, word got around, and before you know it, the Crossed Paddles and River Kings groups pile on to help. As an after event, a few of us wanted to pull out the longboats and paddle a few miles on the Hall River. So this past Saturday, with boats in tow, Bonnie and I headed to Burlington. Feed the Hunger operates in both U.S. and international channels to provide nutritious meals to those in need. Many are life-saving as they reach deep into poverty-stricken areas. Our station was packaging meals being shipped to Sri Lanka. A very methodic rhythm of volunteers stationed in assembly line fashion provided for a very efficient means to process a large number of meals in a short period of time. The River King tables was able to process 17 boxes, each containing 40 packets, in only 2 hours. That equates to 680 packets, or just over 5.5 packets per minute, or one every 10.5 seconds. Once the Packathon drew to a close, River Kings and Cross Paddles all celebrated by sharing lunch at a local restaurant, exchanging stories and jokes, and enjoying each other's company. Once lunch concluded, those that wanted to paddle headed over to Saxbahaw Lake Paddle Access. Upon arriving, a quick observation of the lake came with mixed reviews. The previous night's rain, along with an incoming cold front, made for less than ideal conditions. The current had a steady clip, and with about a 20-mile-per-hour headwind, it wasn't going to be a casual paddle. A couple of paddlers decided to sit this one out as the rest of us suited up, rigged the boats, and cast off. I was testing out a new extended camera mount and very quickly learned its length was way too long. Between the waves rolling, the wind blowing, and the boom swaying, it was akin to a biplane pilot's view of the horizon during a stunt show. We made our way across the lake to the far side, where the wind was less of an issue. We paddled close to the shore while making our way upstream to a cove that gave us a reprieve from constant strokes. Like an old friend opening a welcome door, 6 long boats pass the entrance into calm and inviting waters. These are the good times, when jovial conversation, laughter, and great company converge. The volume of water across the paddle blades was much less heading back, as the headwind that fought us before now greeted us back onto the open water with a gentle push. Six boats formed a line as we sailed back to the dock, the River Kings and Crossed Paddles Armada mightily protecting our sovereign right to pursue happiness. As we pull the boats onto dry land and begin to stow the boats for the return trip home, I take for granted the memories we just made. It wasn't long ago that Bonnie and I discovered kayaking, and even a shorter time ago, getting to know such a fantastic group of friends that share the same interest. We've had the opportunity to float with them on several occasions, and each time we leave with more than which we arrived. Each time we gather, I always leave with a smile.